2025 Peugeot e-3008. New 321 bhp AWD model is now Peugeot's most powerful car. Though the latest Peugeot 3008 might not be an electric SUV we rate particularly highly, it has made quite an impression. More than 140,000 have been ordered since its 2024 launch. And it's even appeared in the list of the UK's best-selling cars on occasion. Surprisingly, it's the electric e-3008 that has done a lot of heavy lifting, with 45% sold so far in Britain being this EV, rather than the standard mild hybrid model, which is considerably higher than the current 20% electric market share. Peugeot always promised more models would follow since its initial introduction, and that's what it's now delivering. A long-range model will follow later in 2025. But for now we're getting our hands on the dual-motor version for the first time, bringing a noticeable uplift in power. But is it the version we'd recommend? At a glance. Pros: striking styling, refined, high-quality interior. Cons: unsettled ride, not very spacious in the rear, quite expensive. What's new? Before we talk about this new dual-motor version, it's important to look at the third generation as a whole. Peugeot has chucked all the toys at this new SUV. And it was the first car across all of Stellantis to use its new STLA medium platform, which you'll see on the new Vauxhall Grandland as well as the latest Citroën C5 Aircross. Not only is the platform new, there are also brand new batteries and electric motors delivering more range and power than what you'll find in the smaller e-3008 SUV. The interior builds on the outgoing 3008's dramatic design with BMW-esque curved digital screens that spread across the interior. It's got a more rakish look than its predecessor, with details such as a fancy frameless front grille that will be a car validator's worst nightmare and Peugeot's latest lighting signature. It's got a more coupe-like profile than before, though its designers prefer it to be called a fastback. As for the dual motor, it gets a second electric motor on the rear axle, though Peugeot has also revised the chassis, with a tighter anti-roll bar, stiffer springs and shock absorbers, and also revisions to the steering. Now that the Peugeot 508 PSE is dead, it's now the French firm's most powerful car. What are the specs? The e-3008 launched in 2024 with a single version, and it's the one that will remain the most popular. Pairing a 73 kWh battery with a 210 bhp front-mounted electric motor, Peugeot claims a 0 to 60 miles per hour time in 8.8 seconds and a max speed of 105 miles per hour. Its on-paper electric range is 326 miles, though expect 260 miles based on our tested 3.7 miles per kilowatt-hour efficiency figure. It's also capable of 160 kilowatts rapid charging speeds, allowing for a 20 to 80% top-up in 30 minutes. The dual-motor model, which is visually only differentiated by a badge on the rear, gets the same front motor as the standard car, but adds a 111 bhp motor on the rear axle, taking the combined figure up to 321 bhp. Torque also jumps from 253 to 375 pound-feet of torque, helping to shave the 0 to 62 miles per hour time down to 6 seconds. It packs the same 73 kilowatt-hours battery as the standard car, though the range drops to 304 miles, or likely 240 miles in the real world, though we're yet to get behind the wheel of the e-3008 long-range model. This will be the real talking point in the lineup, with Peugeot claiming up to 422 miles from its 98 kilowatt-hours battery, and makes it one of the longest-range electric cars available. A 1.2 mild hybrid is also available, reviewed in our separate Peugeot 3008 review, while a plug-in hybrid version will also arrive later in 2025 to expand its appeal. What's it like to drive? Things get off to a decent start with the 3008. You sit nice and high up, if that's important, and Peugeot's often criticized driving position is improved courtesy of the new interior design. More on that later. It's remarkably refined too, with little wind or road noise and a near-silent electric motor, even at speed, but it doesn't take long before this goodness is undone. The ride quality on all but the smoothest roads is disappointing. Big standard 19-inch alloys, or 20s on the top-spec GT that most will choose, don't help, as the 3008 never settles down. constantly jiggling around on the UK's crumbling roads. Smaller wheels seem to make minimal difference. Either. At best it's annoying and worst downright uncomfortable. The steering is uniformly light and effortless, which is a step down from recent Peugeot's quick and surprisingly granular steering. This rack just swings nonchalantly side to side, communicating with all the enthusiasm of a Frenchman you just pestered for directions in English. The car is also terribly heavy, more than 2.1 tons in its standard guise for what isn't an especially large SUV is not progress. It's more than 200 kilograms heavier than the Renault Scenic and Tesla Model Y2, both of which have larger batteries. The standard e-3008 feels cumbersome to drive too, with more of a lean than we'd expect through the corners and a feeling that there's not all that much grip and which could quite easily tip into oversteer. Goodness knows how it'll perform when Peugeot slaps in that gigantic 98 kWh battery. The dual motor is an improvement to drive. The leisurely, if perfectly acceptable pace of the standard e-3008 is addressed here. The accelerator pedal has a slight resistance if you mash your foot down, but quickly unlocks an extra degree of travel that enables max power. It's by no means a performance SUV but is usefully quick and easy to modulate. You won't discover max power by accident. And we rate that on a vehicle like this. Though we've only tried the dual motor on smoother German roads. That extra stiffness makes it seem a touch more tied down and it doesn't roll in corners in the same way. Traction is also impressive courtesy of its additional rear motor, while a dedicated 4WD mode means there's plenty of grip even in the wet. It's still far from comfortable when we found a rougher road on our Black Forest test drive, and the brake pedal's sponginess is disconcerting, but it is an improvement compared to the standard car for sure. What's the interior like? Where the e-3008 claws back points when it comes to its interior. At least visually, it's the first to usher in Peugeot's new look, panoramic iCockpit. Essentially 21 inches of screen curved around the driver. The look is nothing new. BMW does it on pretty much every car it sells these days. But Peugeot's execution is good. Previously, taller drivers especially would struggle with the driving position, the top of the small steering wheel often blocking the view of the dials. But Peugeot largely seems to have fixed this here, a big win. Both the main infotainment screen and instrument cluster have excellent graphics and feel like they've been taken out of a premium product. Peugeot's configurable touch keys can do whatever shortcuts you're most likely to use, and strike a good balance between a lack of physical buttons and usability. Though the general ergonomics do still leave a lot to be desired. Style over substance, for sure. That said, the quality and overall design throughout is generally excellent, with a brilliantly sculpted center console and woolen dashboard and door cards feeling straight out of a premium product. It's certainly a lot more interesting than an Audi Q4 e-tron. But in the name of design, Peugeot seems to have forgotten about the need for its family SUV to be practical. Despite being 10 centimeters longer than its predecessor, rear seat space is cramped for a car in this class, with fairly tight headroom, especially with an optional panoramic sunroof fitted, and limited legroom for a taller adult. Many far smaller SUVs manage more rear space. That said, at 588 liters the boot is an excellent size with dedicated room to keep the charging cables out of the way. Before you buy, the Peugeot 3008 has been priced more in line with premium products in recent years and this new model is no exception. The range kicks off from 36.790 pounds for the mild hybrid. But going electric is far more expensive, 45.960 pounds for the Alert trim and 49.340 pounds for the top-spec GT. Choosing the bigger 98 kWh battery adds 2.700 pounds for the price. The dual-motor model, despite driving better, is hard to justify though. Peugeot is yet to announce pricing but has said it will cost between £5.500 and £8 more than the regular e-3008, meaning even its starting price will set you back more than £50. It should be said that Peugeot's current finance offers are quite attractive. However, but choose a few options and it's possible for this SUV to cost £55, a price it just can't justify. You can pick up a Skoda Enyaq and Tesla Model Y for less. Peugeot's 8-year electric warranty. providing you have it serviced at one of its main dealers. Is an attractive package, though. Other than this, the standard equipment list is impressive. Though, Allure models come with the 21-inch panoramic i-cockpit, 19-inch alloy wheels and keyless entry, with the GT trim adding an electric boot, adaptive cruise control and matrix LED headlights. One option that shouldn't be is the 700 pounds heat pump. We'd expect it to be included on a family SUV like this. Verdict: on a purely aesthetic level, the Peugeot 3008 ticks every box. It looks the part, and genuinely stands out in a market that tend to all look very same. Why? While the interior is up there with Audi and BMW levels in look and feel. Even if it's not as easy to use as posh rivals, the dual-motor version certainly improves the way the e-3008 drives. Albeit its steep price increase makes it hard to justify over a regular version unless you'll really benefit from having four-wheel drive. But given the e-3008's importance, it's a bit disappointing that it remains slightly off the mark when it comes to the way it drives and its rear seat space. And doesn't even have attractive pricing on its side. There are better electric SUVs on the market, if perhaps none quite so distinctive.